Adebayo and Tyler Herro spent 7 seasons as two of Miami's central players. Now, multiple outlets report that the former teammates were involved in a physical altercation in Las Vegas on Friday. The Associated Press described it as a brief verbal and physical altercation at a summer league practice facility. The Athletic reported that it happened inside a gym at Resorts World, where Herro's AAU team was present. Both players reportedly left on their own. The Miami Heat said they were aware of the incident and declined to comment. Herro was asked about it after the Bucks and Heat Summer League game and said his only comment was no comment. At the time of publication, there is no announced suspension and no official injury report connected to the incident. The reported context matters, but it needs careful wording. Yahoo Sports reported that some of the tension may also involve Herro's frustration over Adebayo's silence while Miami was negotiating the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. Neither player has publicly confirmed a motive. Herro is now in Milwaukee because Miami used him in the package that brought Giannis to the Heat. A partnership that helped carry Miami to 2 finals appearances has ended with a trade, public criticism, and now a reported confrontation. The next facts that matter are straightforward. Whether either team issues discipline, whether the league gets involved, and whether either player gives a full account. On ESPN Cleveland, Brian Windhorst said he was hearing conflicting information. That clip was quickly recut as a report that LeBron James had completed a deal outside Cleveland. Windhorst has now pushed back, saying that claim was false and his remarks were taken out of context. That distinction is the story. Windhorst did not identify a player or a team, and he did not present the source's claim as confirmed. So this is not a LeBron transaction report. Toronto and the Clippers agreed on the framework back on June 30th. The Raptors would receive Kawhi. Los Angeles would receive Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, unprotected first-round picks in 2031 and 2033, second-rounders in 2030 and 2033, and 3033, plus a 2027 first-round swap. The trade has not been completed because the NBA is still investigating whether the Clippers circumvented salary cap rules connected to Leonard's contract. That creates a problem for Toronto. If the Raptors finalize the deal before the investigation ends, they could be accepting whatever risk comes with the league's final decision. The latest reporting says the league's handling of the case is not widely viewed as a sign that a major punishment is coming. The teams are also not trying to rewrite the trade. Still, even a small possibility that Leonard's contract could be affected is enough reason to wait. This is why the word blocked goes too far. The NBA has not rejected the transaction. The league has effectively asked both sides to hold it while the investigation closes. That leaves Kawhi in limbo, the Raptors waiting on a championship reunion, and the Clippers unable to fully move into their next phase. The comic clip is useful because it captures the public frustration, but the basketball issue is serious. Toronto is preparing to invest in a 35-year-old star with 1 year left on his contract, while sending out a younger scorer, a recent lottery pick, and control of several future draft assets. The investigation does not only delay the announcement, it delays the certainty both front offices need to shape the rest of the summer. Now to San Antonio, where the early Vegas chatter has become official. The Spurs have signed Victor Wembanyama to a multi-year extension through the 2031-2032 season. The reported 5-year agreement could exceed $250 million if the player option in the final season is picked up. And yes, the discount is real. NBA.com reports that Wembanyama could have signed a deal worth more than $300 million, but chose the lesser amount to give San Antonio more flexibility around its young core. The story is not that the Spurs suddenly gain unlimited cap space. The value depends on the exact salary structure and how San Antonio builds around the contract. But every dollar below the maximum can reduce future pressure when the roster becomes expensive. The Spurs already have the hardest piece in team building, a franchise player who changes both ends of the floor. The next challenge is keeping enough shooting, playmaking, defense, and depth around him once the young core reaches second contracts. Well, Wembanyama had every right to take the full amount. Instead, the possibility that sounded unusual yesterday now has a signature. San Antonio has its franchise player secured, plus a little more room to build around him. Dybantsa did more than win the first pick matchup in Las Vegas. He scored 27 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, added 2 assists and 3 combined steals and blocks, and got to the line 8 times. Darren Peterson answered with 24, so the game delivered the duel people wanted. What made the clip travel was the attitude. Dybantsa hit the shot, talked to the defender, and carried himself like he already expected the building to react to him. Some fans will call that confidence. Others will decide they cannot stand him before opening night. The one number that keeps the performance grounded is 0 for 5 from 3. Summer League rewards flashes, but it also exposes the next assignment. Dybantsa showed force, foul pressure, and personality. The jumper is where opponents will test him until he makes them stop. That is a strong place for a first overall pick to begin. The league needs young players who can handle attention, and Dybantsa looked comfortable creating it himself. Portland has acquired Morant from Memphis in exchange for J.R.H. Grant and Chris Murray. The deal gives the Trail Blazers a 2-time All-Star guard who averaged 19.5 points and 8.1 assists in 20 games last season. For Memphis, the trade continues a major reset. Grant adds an experienced forward, while Murray gives the Grizzlies another younger player to evaluate. For Portland, the immediate basketball question is how Ja Morant fits beside Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard, and Scoot Henderson. Those are the confirmed terms. The transaction is official. Portland has released its welcome video, and Ja Morant is now listed as a Trail Blazer. The next update will come when Portland announces his first media availability and explains how the guard rotation will work. In Miami with a story that has nothing to do with an investigation or an unnamed source. Tim Hardaway Jr. has joined the Heat and will wear number 10, the number Miami retired for his father. Hardaway said the first request was a personal decision, while the second became a family decision. He will wear the number with honor. The line is funny because everybody can hear the family negotiation without him spelling it out. The fit also makes basketball sense. Hardaway shot 40.7% from 3 last season in Denver and described his job in Miami simply: create space and knock down shots. With Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo drawing bodies inside, Miami needs defenders to pay for collapsing into the paint. So number 10 comes down from the rafters for the son, not as a replacement for his father's history, but as a continuation of it. That is a clean way to close a day filled. The Bam and Herro story is waiting on statements and possible discipline. The Windhorst clip now has a clarification. The Kawhi deal is still waiting on the league. Wembanyama's discount now has a signature. Dybantsa and Hardaway gave us something visible on the court and at the podium. That is today's Daily Hoops Rundown. Subscribe for the next update when a team responds, a rumor becomes a transaction, or the hold finally comes off the biggest deal of the summer.